key concepts that I want to make sure I tackle, mostly because they're in the survey, but they apply, right?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
The biggest concept is to wrap our heads around and remind ourselves that all, whether they're little or whether we're tall, disruptive human behavior equals an unmet need. All disruptive behavior equals an unmet need. I'm not saying it's appropriate or acceptable, but it is the first and best way that children especially signal to us that something doesn't feel right, something's off, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm distressed, I'm scared, I don't know if you like me, I assume you don't, and so I'm going to act out, okay? When we can keep our heads wrapped around that, then it hopefully helps us to find another level of patience, another spoonful of compassion to remind ourselves, Timmy isn't yelling and screaming down the hallway just to annoy me. That's just a bonus, right? Timmy is yelling and screaming down the hallway because he doesn't have someone at home who has taught him and kept him feeling safe and structured and taught him the basics of public behavior versus private behavior. Flipping tables in my classroom, yelling at me, or the ones that are even more difficult to snag, I sit in the back of your class and I don't ever disrupt your class, but you get to the end of your quarter or you get to the end of the semester and you go to give me a grade and you're like, huh, son of a biscuit, Beth actually hasn't turned much in. But she never disrupts my class, she never gets on my behavior radar, but I don't have a lot of produce from her to actually give her a grade. So, rats, right? Because she's a sweet kid. So, there's the whole spectrum of the Timmies, you know, with torches and pitchforks down the hallway, all the way down to the Tammies who are just sitting there smiling and nodding, right? But you get the distinct impression that the lights are on, but Elvis has left the building, right? And they are, and he has, okay? And that associated, that withdrawn behavior is also disruptive and a signal of an unmet need. Okay? It's not blatantly disruptive in terms of it's interrupting your lesson, it's preventing other kids from learning, except when Tammy gets into a group and after a few years or after a few class projects and the kids figure out Tammy really doesn't do anything. And then I'm stuck with having to do it all. And in a very short amount of time, Tammy's losing friends and self-esteem and is struggling with depression and anxiety because nobody likes me. Nobody wants me to be on their team. Nobody wants me to be in their group. I'm the last one that's picked for kickball. Well, because I just stand on the wall and I do this when the ball comes to me, you know. Whereas Timmy is like kicking the ball and the other team's ball and also taking the football and kicking the football, okay? So, yes, awesome, okay. Great.
That first one?
Yes, it's yours. So, here we go. Okay. So, everything I needed to know in neurology and psychology, I've learned from the movies and cartoons and television. So I'm going to share with you guys, seriously, skip the PhD, watch a buttload of TV and movies. I'll even give you the list if you want, and you can just check out now. Okay? So you just have to pinky swear you're going to watch all of them. Now, before you promise to that, it is the entire Star Trek canon.